Did you know that the smell of your home can say a lot about you? And that, in fact, most people don't know how to leave the house with a pleasant aroma all the time. You may even try to use those smelling sprays, but in the end, the smell disappears fast or too artificial. The problem is that the bad smell or the lifeless environment makes us feel tired, uncomfortable, almost as if the house was not a welcoming place. This even affects your mood and the way you get visits. But what if I tell you that you can turn the smell of your home in a simple and cheap way, without having to spend fortunes or buying products difficult to find? In today's video, I will reveal 10 secrets that 5-star hotels use to leave the house with that amazing aroma, which makes you want to stay more inside, relax, and even feel happier. These are practical tips that anyone can apply, and that will completely change their perception of the environment where you live. And stay tuned, because one of these tips, which comes right at the end, can be the most powerful of all and is little known. You will learn how to create a unique atmosphere with smells that arouse good memories, tranquility, and even elegance. Get ready to find out tricks that the most luxurious hotels in the world use every day, and that you will now have access to apply to your home. If you want your home to smell as well as a 5-star hotel, don't go away from here. This transformation is about to start. Control the moisture of the environment. One of the greatest enemies of the pleasant smell at home is moisture. When the air is very damp, bad smells appear more easily. The house gets that muffled mold smell that bothers and makes the atmosphere look dirty, even when it is clean. In addition, high humidity helps increase the emergence of mold and fungi, which only worsen the smell and can cause health problems. Therefore, controlling moisture is the first step to ensure fresh and pleasant aroma. To apply this tip in practice, note how your home is. If you smell a heavy smell or see dark spots on walls or corners, the moisture is probably high. A simple solution is to open the windows every day, especially in the morning, to renew the air. If it is a room that usually accumulates moisture, such as bathroom or kitchen, use a fan or exhaust to help dry the environment. Another tip is to avoid drying clothes indoors, as this increases the level of moisture in the air. If your home is very humid, it is worth investing in a dehumidifier, which is a device that removes excess water from the air. But if this is not possible, placing pots with coarse salt in strategic corners also helps to absorb moisture. Imagine the following. You wake up, open the window, and feel that fresh air entering. No mold smell. When it enters the bathroom, it doesn't feel that muffled smell that bothers you. This is because the air is dry just right, and that makes all the difference in the smell of the house. In addition, controlled moisture environments help the aromas you put on, whether a sachet, a diffuser, or even natural flowers, to spread better. The result is a lighter, natural, and lasting smell. By following this tip, you will realize that the house is more pleasant, healthier, and even more beautiful, because high humidity can damage walls and furniture. Best of all, it is a simple solution that does not require large investments, only attention and care in everyday life. Controlling moisture is the secret that 5-star hotels use to ensure that the smell of the house is always fresh and inviting. And now that you know that, you can start turning the environment of your home today. Use natural and fresh aromas. Many times we try to hide the bad smells of the house with products full of artificial perfume, which end up tiring their nose and even causing a headache. The problem is that these smells do not last, and when they disappear, leave the environment empty, lifeless. In addition, exaggerated use of chemicals may even harm the health of those who live in the house. The solution is to bet on the natural, soft, and pleasant aromas that leave the house with that tasty smell, as if it had just received a breeze of nature. In practice, you can start using aromatic plants indoors, such as basil, mint, rosemary, or lavender. These plants not only smell well, but also help to purify the air. A simple example: put mint vases in the kitchen near the window. Whenever you open the window, that fresh smell will invade the environment and give a feeling of cleaning and freshness. Another idea is to use citrus fruits such as lemon, orange, or tangerine. You can cut some slices and put in a bowl of hot water in the kitchen or living room. The steam will release a natural citrus smell that refreshes the environment. In the rooms, a sachet with dry lavender flowers can help make the air more enjoyable and even improve sleep. It's a simple, cheap, and very efficient way to bring natural smells into the house. The benefit of using natural aromas goes far beyond the tasty smell. They create a light atmosphere that helps relieve stress and improves mood. In addition, these smells last longer and do not cause that tiredness that artificial perfumes cause. You will realize that the house is more welcoming, cozy, and even visits will comment how the environment is smelling in a natural and tasty way. In the end, betting on natural aromas is a practical way to turn your home into a healthier, pleasant, and life-full place. It is a tip that 5-star hotels always follow to ensure that the smell of the environment is always fresh and inviting, without exaggeration. So start using plants, fruits, and flowers today to leave your home with a natural perfume that everyone will love. Deep and regular cleaning. Often the bad smell that invades the house does not come from outside, but something that is accumulated and forgotten. Dust, dirt hidden in corners, rugs, curtains, and even upholstery can store unpleasant odors that make the environment heavy. The problem is that we tend to do a surface cleaning, which really does not solve the bad smell. When this happens, no matter how many smell sprays you use, the house will never be really smelling. The solution is to invest in deep and done cleaning regularly. In practice, this means devoting time to clean where we usually don't clean every day. For example, take the rugs to beat, wash the curtains, aspire the upholstery from the couch and the chairs, and clean behind the furniture. Do not let dirt and dust accumulate, because they are largely responsible for the bad smells. A practical tip is to separate one day of the week to do this more complete cleaning. If you have pets, this is even more important, because the hair and moisture they leave can cause strong odors. For a realistic example, imagine that every week you wash the dishcloths but never wash the kitchen curtain. Over time, the curtain accumulates fat, smell of food and dust, which leave the environment with that heavy smell. When you finally wash the curtain, the kitchen looks even cooler and more pleasant. Also, using a vacuum cleaner helps to get dust off the air, which also contributes to a better smell. The benefits of maintaining deep and regular cleaning are huge. First, the house is really clean, which brings a feeling of comfort and well-being. Second, the bad smell disappears at origin, and the environment is ready to receive pleasant aromas you choose. Third, cleaning helps preserve furniture, fabrics, and objects, making it last longer and avoiding the accumulation of dirt that can cause allergies. In the end, this tip is fundamental for those who want a real smelling house. It's no use just masking the bad smell. You need to eliminate the problem. 5-star hotels invest heavily in deep cleaning to ensure that each room, each corridor has a fresh and inviting smell. And you can also do this in your home with little effort and a little organization. Start today to devote a time to deep cleaning and see how the smell of your home will change for the better, bringing more comfort and joy to your daily life. Strategic and constant ventilation. Often the bad smell in the house appears because the air gets still, stuck inside the rooms. Without proper circulation, the environment accumulates odors of food, sweat, moisture, and even pets. This makes the house stuffy and even suffocating. The problem is that we do not always realize that the standing air is the true villain of the bad smell. It is no use just giving a perfume in the environment if the air does not circulate properly. Therefore, the solution is to ensure strategic and constant ventilation in all rooms of the house. In practice, this means opening the windows and doors in key moments of the day to let the air fresh and the addicted air out. A realistic example is opening the windows in the morning as soon as you wake up to renew the air that was stuck at night. Then, during the day, if possible, leave a door open so that the air circulates between the environments. On sunny days, take the opportunity to make as much windows open so heat helps eliminate moisture and bad smells. For those who live in an apartment or in places where the window cannot be open all the time, using a fan to move the air also helps a lot. Another tip is to pay attention towards the wind to open windows that favor the circulation of the air, creating a chain that exchanges the old air for the fresh. The benefits of this practice are immediate and very visible. As soon as you begin to ventilate the house regularly, the atmosphere is lighter, cooler, and with a natural smell, without the need to use many products. Renewed air helps eliminate bad odors that are impregnated on walls, furniture, and fabrics. In addition, constant ventilation helps to control moisture, avoiding mold and mold, which are a large source of unpleasant smell. Another important point is that the well-ventilated environment promotes more health for those who live in the house, reducing allergies and improving sleep quality. 5. Star hotels know this very well, and so invest in systems that ensure air circulation all the time and opens windows and doors whenever possible to keep the environment cool. Now that you know how ventilation makes all the difference, start paying attention to the hours of the day to open the windows and let the air circulate. With this simple tip, your home will gain a new, lighter, and much more pleasant smell. It's an easy, cheap step that will turn the way you feel your home. Use fragrant fabrics and bedding. One of the biggest challenges to keep the house smelling is that even with cleaning, tissues accumulate odors over time. Bedding, towels, curtains, and pillows may end up smelling sweat, moisture, or even food, leaving the atmosphere with a heavy and tiring aroma. The problem is that these tissues become true deposits of bad smell, and often we don't even realize it until the environment is unpleasant. The solution is to take good care of the tissues that are part of the decoration and routine of the house, adding a special touch of perfume that will last and transform the space. In practice, this starts at the time of washing. Use pleasant-smelling softeners which you like to feel, and don't be afraid to repeat the process if the bad smell is too strong. A realistic example is to wash the sheets and pillowcases with a fragrant softener, and after dried, pass a fabric perfume spray. You can do this with the bathroom towels and even the curtains. Another tip is to put fragrant sachets inside the cabinets and drawers where it saves the bedding and towels. This helps keep the fresh smell longer. If you want to go further, use essential oils diluted in water to spray slightly on the fabrics, a natural and elegant way to leave a soft and tasty smell. The benefits of caring for fabric tissues are many. First, the atmosphere gains a deep cleaning sense because the pleasant smell in tissues creates a welcoming and relaxing atmosphere. Second, you prevent bad smell from coming back quickly, as tissues are one of the main sources of unpleasant odors. Third, this helps to make the house more inviting to you and the visits because the tasty smell in bedding and curtains makes all the difference in the comfort of the home. 5-star hotels know this secret and invest in always fragrant and cared-for bedding, ensuring that guest smells like that enters the room, creating a sense of immediate well-being. Now that you know this tip, start paying attention to the tissues of your home. Wash carefully, use softeners and sprays that leave a pleasant and lasting smell. Thus, you will realize that the smell of the house changes. It is tastier and cozy, transforming your daily life and increasing the comfort of your home. It is a simple but powerful secret that will make all the difference in the smell of your home. Renew the air with purifying plants. One of the big problems that leave the house with a bad smell is the air loaded, full of impurities and smells attached. Even if you do the cleaning and ventilate the environment, sometimes the air gets heavy, stuffy, and the smell doesn't come out for good. This is because the environment does not have a natural way of cleaning the air, and odors are stuck in the walls, furniture, and objects. The solution to this is to use plants that help renew the air of the house in a natural and constant way. In practice, you can choose purifying plants, which are easy to care for and help eliminate substances that leave the air polluted and smelly. Some of the best known are the Sarayorhe sword, the lily of peace, the aloe, and the jiboya. Put these plants at strategic points of the house, such as in the living room, bedroom, or hallway. A realistic example: imagine that you have a celery sword near the room window. It will help filter the air that enters, eliminating pollutants and keeping the environment lighter. In addition, these plants release oxygen, which makes the air purer and pleasant to breathe. Another benefit is that taking care of the plants brings a sense of well-being and leaves the house with a more beautiful and welcoming look. In addition, these plants help control air moisture, another important factor to avoid bad smells caused by mold and mold. The benefits of using purifying plants go beyond the pleasant smell. With them, you create a healthier environment with cleaner and fresh air all the time. This helps improve your quality of life, your sleep, and even your mood. Best of all, this solution is natural, sustainable, and still makes the house more beautiful. 5. Star hotels know the importance of plants to keep the air clean and the environment pleasant. Therefore, they always put natural plants in the rooms and ordinary areas, ensuring a fresh smell and a sense of comfort for guests. Now that you know this secret, take the opportunity to choose the purifying plants you like best and start putting them in your home. With this touch of nature, the smell of your home will change surprisingly, getting lighter, fresh, and tasty. It is a simple, practical tip that brings many benefits to your daily life. Before we continue with the next tip, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't lose any news that will transform your home and your life. It also takes the opportunity to activate the notification bell, because whenever we publish a new video, you will be warned on time. And I really want to know about you. Tell me here in the comments which of these tips you already do there in your home. Which city are you watching from? And of course, it also tells me which of these ideas has surprised you the most so far. Your participation is very important for us to continue bringing content that really helps in your daily life. So don't be watching, participate. Now yes, let's go with the content. Change the garbage frequently. One of the biggest causes of bad smell in the house is right there in the trash. Many times we leave the bag for longer than it should, or not close the trash, and then the rest of food, dirty paper, and dirt spreads through the environment. This leaves the house with an unpleasant smell, which does not always disappear with a little perfume in the air. The problem is that this strong and persistent smell comes from waste, which accumulates bacteria and moisture, creating a perfect environment for the bad smell. The solution is simple and efficient. Change the trash often whenever it is full and keep the trash clean. In practice, this means not leaving the garbage bag crowded for days. For example, if you cook and generate a lot of trash or food remains, change the bag daily. Also, after removing the trash, wash the trash with soap and water to prevent waste from getting stuck and smelling. Another tip is to use resistant garbage bags, which do not tear easily, and if possible, close the bag well before discarding it. A realistic example: imagine that you live in a house with a small kitchen. If you leave the garbage accumulated for 3 or 4 days, the smell will invade the kitchen and even the living room. But when you change the bag every night and wash the dumpster once a week, the smell disappears and the atmosphere gets much more pleasant. In addition, you avoid the presence of insects such as flies and ants, which also bring discomfort. The benefits of changing the trash often are many. First, the house is free from that strong and unpleasant smell that bothers everyone. Second, cleaning the trash avoids the accumulation of dirt that can impair family health. Third, keeping the garbage organized and clean gives a sense of care and comfort, showing that your home is a pleasant place to be. 5. Star hotels know that the smell of trash can ruin the whole experience of an environment, so they have a strict routine of trash exchange and cleaning. Now that you know this secret, start paying more attention to your home trash. Change the bag frequently, wash the dumpster, and keep it all right. Thus, you will notice that the smell of your home improves a lot, getting cooler and inviting. It is a simple, practical tip that makes all the difference in everyday life. Pay attention to the air filters. We often forget that the air filters of the house, such as those of air conditioning and fans, accumulate dust, dirt, and even mold. This causes the air that circulates through the environment is full of impurities and bad smell. The problem is that when these filters are dirty, even if you ventilate the house or use perfumes, the unpleasant smell continues there, stuck in the air. In addition, polluted air can cause allergies and discomfort for those who live in place. The solution is simple: clean or change air filters regularly. In practice, this means following the manufacturer's recommendations, but overall, cleaning every month or 2 months, depending on the use. For those who use air conditioning, cleaning filters prevents the smell of mold from spreading through the environment. A realistic example is thinking of an apartment where air conditioning is connected almost all day. If the filter is dirty, the smell of mold and dust invades the room in the bedroom, leaving the environment heavy and uncomfortable. But when the filter is clean or changed, the air is fresh again, and the bad smell disappears. In addition, fans also need cleaning as they accumulate dust on the blades, which when they rotate, spread dirt and bad smell through the air. The benefits of taking care of air filters are clear. First, the air you breathe indoors is cleaner and more pleasant. Second, the bad smell disappears once and for all because the origin of the problem was eliminated. Third, family health improves with fewer allergies, eye and throat irritation. 5. Star hotels maintain a rigorous cleaning routine and change air filters to ensure that the smell in the rooms and corridors is always fresh and inviting. Now that you know how important this tip is, start checking the filters of your home. Clean, change, and keep the air always renewed. With this simple care, the smell of your home will improve a lot, making the environment healthier and more enjoyable for you and your whole family. Bet on natural diffusers. One of the challenges to make the house smelling is to find ways that are not artificial or exaggerated, because many products end up leaving the environment with a smell too strong, tired, and even bothers. The problem is that without a proper solution, the house is between the bad smell and the artificial smell. Without that balance that 5-star hotels can keep, the solution is to use natural diffusers, which spread a smooth, pleasant, and constant aroma without exaggeration. In practice, you can make or buy diffusers with essential oils diluted in water, using rods that absorb the liquid and gradually release the smell. A realistic example is choosing an aroma you like, such as lavender, eucalyptus, or lemongrass, and put the diffuser in the living room or bedroom. Thus, the smell will spread slowly, creating a calm and cozy atmosphere. You can also combine the diffuser with natural plants or flowers to enhance the effect. Another alternative is to use pots with dried herbs and a few drops of essential oil, which act as a natural and beautiful diffuser to decorate. The benefits of betting on natural diffusers are many. First, the smell is balanced without being too strong, which helps keep the environment pleasant longer. Second, these diffusers help to improve mood, concentration, and even sleep, depending on the chosen aroma. Third, they are easy to use, economical, and still leave the house with a touch of elegance and care. 5-star hotels use this technique a lot to ensure that the smell of bedrooms is always tasty, light, and inviting without disturbing anyone. Now that you know this secret, try using natural diffusers in your home. Choose aromas that match you and enjoy the fresh, fragrant, and full of life environment. It is a simple, practical tip that will transform the feeling you have when you enter your home. Invest in care with the shoes. One of the details that a lot of people forget, but that can be a big villain of the bad smell indoors, are the shoes. Shoes and slippers accumulate sweat, dirt, and moisture, creating a strong smell that ends up spreading through the environments, especially at the entrance or near the door. The problem is that even if you clean the house regularly, the smell of shoes can remain, leaving the house with an unpleasant smell that bothers and takes the comfort of the home. The solution is to take good care of your shoes, preventing the bad smell from spreading around the house. In practice, this means creating the habit of taking their shoes at the entrance and leaving them in an airy place, away from the main environments. In addition, It is important to wash the shoes frequently, especially the ones you wear every day, and when possible, wearing your own shoe deodors will help eliminate the stench. A realistic example is to imagine that when you get home, you take your shoe and leave it in the entrance hall, which has natural ventilation. You also wash your sneakers once a week and use a homemade deodorizer, such as baking soda, to absorb the smell. With this care, the bad smell does not invade the house, and the environment is fresher. The benefits of investing in shoe care are many. First, the house is free from that strong smell, though we often don't even know where it comes from. Second, you prevent the smell from spreading to nearby carpets, floors, and fabrics, keeping everything smelly. Third, the atmosphere is cleaner and more enjoyable, improving your comfort and the experience of those visiting your home. 5. Star hotels know that this care makes all the difference and therefore keeps areas specific to shoes and invest in constant cleaning to avoid any bad smell. Now that you know this tip, start paying attention to care with your shoes. Take them at the entrance, wash frequently, and use simple methods to eliminate the smell. Thus, the smell of your home will improve a lot, getting fresher, light, and cozy. It is a simple but powerful secret that will turn your home into an even more special place. Be sure to check out my ebook that I did especially for you. The link is fixed in the comments, easy to find. In this ebook, you will find a step-by-step with various cleaning strategies that can be applied today to your home. The material is super practical, straight to the point, done exactly for those who want to live more lightly and make the environment always smelling and welcoming. No complication or things difficult to do. It's all simple and thought for your daily life. Run there to download and then tell me what you think. I want to know how these tips helped you turn your home and make the environment more delicious to live. Do not miss this opportunity to change the smell of your home and feel more comfort every day. Enjoy now and start this transformation. Now that you know the 10 secrets that 5-star hotels use to make the house smelling, you can start turning your home. We have seen how to control moisture makes all the difference to avoid mold smell. We have learned that natural aromas such as plants and fruits make the environment cooler and more pleasant. We understand that deep and regular cleaning is essential to eliminate the origin of bad odors. We also talk about the importance of constant ventilation to renew air and keep the smell good in the environment. Taking care of fabrics, air filters, and even shoes helps prevent the bad smell from appearing. And of course, using natural diffusers spreads a smooth and inviting aroma around the house. Each tip is an important piece for creating an environment that conveys comfort, lightness, and well-being. But the biggest secret is to start. It's no use just knowing what to do if you don't put it into practice. Try applying a tip at a time. Observe the changes and feel how the smell of your home gets tastier. Small habits make a big difference and will transform your daily life. Your home can be a place where you and your family feel welcomed, happy, and quiet, just changing simple attitudes. Now I want to challenge you. Which of these tips will you start applying today? How about choosing one and putting it into practice? Tell me in the comments what was your first step to leaving your home with a 5-star hotel. Let's go together in this transformation.